Fantasy Dudes Podcast with your hosts, Jonathan, Tyler, and Shane.
Yeah.
Let's go, everybody. Welcome back to the show. Week 3 coming up. Week 2 in the books. Here to talk about more fantasy football. Talk about Brittany Mahomes. If you're joining us live, feel free to send a chat and we will feature it on the show. Talk about it, whatever it may be, whether it's family friendly or not. I do not give a shit. We'll put it on the show.
That is not true. We definitely care.
I can't,
no slurs in the chat, please.
It doesn't show me what the message is
Tyler's
until I put it on the screen. That's not true. That's a lie. That's not true. What's going on, guys? Welcome back. How's everybody doing?
Good.
You know, as good as
your tag is. Things are not good.
Oh, well, personally, I'm doing well.
Oh, okay. So fantasy-wise.
Fantasy-wise, totally different.
Things are
not totally different. Things are kind of a dumpster fire right now.
I think they are for a lot of people. There's some teams that have literally every player hurt out there. So there's fantasy teams that have
her whole lineup questionable.
That's insane. It's week 3.
Crazy, man. That's all it takes.
I've got several guys out for at least 6 weeks.
Big name injuries starting wide receivers in Dynasty.
Only bright star is Cooper Kupp. We'll talk about it later. Probably not going on the IR.
He's still going to miss. I mean, he barely will not go on the IR.
Maybe get a win.
And I don't know. Depends on how he does this week too. So has a lot to do with that.
Well, anyway, welcome back to the show, everybody. If you are joining for the first time, we're those fantasy dudes. You can check us out on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook at those fantasy dudes, X at Fantasy Dudes Pod. Tyler's on there every Sunday morning doing start and sit decisions.
You know it.
Is he right? Probably not. But
probably not. Told a lot of people to start Christian Kirk last week. Apologies formally. Horrible.
Oh,
almost. Pretty much.
I think just the Jaguars are bad. I don't know.
I don't know what's happening over there, dude. I really don't. I'm worried for that whole team.
I'm worried for. What did Logan say? You misspelled Dynasty? In what, Logan?
Oh, he did misspell Dynasty.
Where?
Dynasty.
Oh, on the where?
It says Alvin Kamara goes nuclear and Jake is 0-2 in Dynasty.
Oh God, whatever, Logan.
Dynasty. Dinny?
I wrote this very quickly, my friend.
Gonna get Dynasty.
Yeah, John only makes all the notes and produces and sets up a live stream.
Logan, let me know if it's updated.
There you go. Hopefully it updates on YouTube and all the other platforms.
And on Twitch. If you're on Twitch, we are on Twitch right now.
Hey, right now. Awesome.
Hey.
Anyways, if you're watching and would like to listen instead, you can do so on the following podcast platforms. Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Amazon Music, TuneIn, Out Here Radio, Stitcher, Castbox, Reason, Radio Public, Breaker, Pocket Cast, Bullhorn, Castro, Podchaser, Podcast Addict, Podbean, Podcast Guru, Podcast Republic, Podverse, and Spotify for Podcasters is our host platform.
Hey, there it is. He's back.
Sign me up for the Rap Academy.
Nope.
That felt wrong.
John's a rapist.
Whoa, Jesus. Things are not good in my house either now. Holy shit.
Oh, wow.
What's wrong with that?
Yeah, that was
the police are at my door.
Very funny play on words, Jake. Really appreciate that.
Yeah,
I want to eat my pizza, but we're going to do the show instead.
Hey.
Anyway, did you guys notice, look behind me, I took all my Funko Pops out of the box.
Good.
And they're all
I thought you were saying get rid of
Hey, yes. We love that.
4 per shelf. I
Yep.
put the boxes in the closet back there.
Nice.
And so don't worry, the Dune popcorn bucket is still safely
in your bed.
Right there. It's right there.
On my nightstand.
It's right there, everybody.
Oh, I see it now. I see it. Yes.
See it right there? Dune popcorn bucket.
Yes. Big fan.
I
show the new. Oh, Logan wants to see the new. Why are you texting me, Logan? Put it in the chat. You're just lucky I have my phone right here. Just the new one is bottom shelf. It's the bottom shelf of this thing is your Happy Gilmore Funko Pop you sent me.
Sorry, I didn't know that this was the showing off John's place segment.
That's pretty cool.
If I have to talk, oh my God, how is this show predominantly about fucking Funko Pops and Brittany Mahomes?
Listen, man, we'll get there.
Hey, man, speaking of Brittany Mahomes update. Brittany Mahomes update. How you feeling,
Things
Jake?
are not good.
What do you mean?
I don't like the Brittany Mahomes update. I feel like I've been
Why
pretty clear
not?
about that.
Why don't
do
you
you
give
mean,
it? You
why
have
do
the
you
notes. Why
want
don't
her?
you give the Brittany Mahomes update this week? That'd be funny.
Okay, I give the Brittany Mahomes update. She walked it back on Donald Trump because he attacked Taylor Swift, and I think that that's funny because
Brittany Mahomes is a good friend.
yeah, or in
Um,
general, people
why
like
is
that
this-
only
You
care
don't think
when
she's
it
a good
affects
friend?
them.
Yeah, there you go. That's the real answer, Jake.
Yeah, people like that only care when it directly
Getting a
affects
little
them.
bit of a Wi-Fi issue here. We're back though. Everybody
Me?
back? Everybody's back. I had a little bit
Yes,
of lag.
we're
I didn't
good.
have a single problem. You guys seem fine.
Brittany Mahomes, everybody. Quick
This segment is
disclaimer.
purely for comedic purposes, and I do not stand by any of the claims I have just made. We hope to see you back every week for updates on Brittany Mahomes and possibly some fantasy football insights along the way. Thank you for your time.
Just in case you were worried, this is not. We don't stand by these claims, but we're doing it for
We're
satirical
only doing that for legal reasons.
Anyways, Brittany Mahomes, our girl Brittany, has been plenty busy over the past week, celebrating none other than herself. Brittany celebrated her 29th birthday with her man Patty and is even starting to show that baby bump with some high-waisted khaki pants, as you can see in the photo above. The Kansas City Current, of course, commented saying, "Happy birthday, boss." If you haven't forgotten, Brittany is the co-owner of the very first women's soccer team to have their very own stadium, and she helped build it, much like her powerhouse of a family. Brittany is truly an inspiration to us all, Jake especially. Right, Jake?
Yeah. This is true.
No.
Jake's actually a huge fan.
No.
He's just
I'm not.
embarrassed. It's okay. You don't have to be embarrassed.
Jake, just enjoy the spotlight like Brittany does. You know what I mean?
Ugh. Patrick's what?
Even Patrick got to celebrate his own birthday with his family only a week after Brittany's. One can imagine this is something the two bonded over as high school sweethearts. Young love, am I right? It's truly a beautiful thing, and I can honestly say I'm thrilled to see such a likable couple make it out of high school and continue to thrive as respected adults.
Jesus Christ.
Some of Brittany's fans commented things like, "All of a sudden, I'm a Brittany Mahomes fan. Trump 2024.
But then look at the comments on her birthday, because that was 2 days ago, and now she's So look on the post before that you just had 2 weeks
Harris-
ago. Harris 2024. So we got
Happy
both
birthday.
sides.
I don't know. It seems like, yeah. I don't know. She's kind of starting a movement, if you ask me.
A movement of things to not put on your social media. Sure.
Dude, over under like $1,000 for those balloons.
Over.
I think over for sure.
Over 100%, not even question.
I've
Where
never seen
have you ever
chain
seen
link
chain
balloons.
link balloons? I was gonna
Fucking
say
insane.
that's insane.
Oh, we got 5 comments. Funko Pops are fire.
Shut the fuck up.
Abby said
man.
agreed. Happy birthday, Patrick. Ah, thanks, Mom.
Hey, happy birthday, Patrick. We love you.
She is pregnant again. Yeah, she's pregnant again. 3rd child. Hopefully it's a boy this time. Thanks, Gabby.
Yeah, the
Over
balloons are like
1,000.
over. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I think
Over
it's
1,000.
funny because like, those balloon what would you call that? A balloon bouquet or like there's a word for it. I'm
Where do you
messing
even-
it up.
you can't go to
It's like a
parties
balloon wall, They're like, yeah, but it needs to be like manly. It needs to be masculine and cool. And they're like, oh, we got you. We'll put some chains on it.
Yeah, that must have been a custom
That's
order. I
just
think she
like-
ordered that like a year ago. Like, we'll have that for
Yeah.
next year for Patty's birthday.
No, I don't think so. She probably ordered it like 2 weeks ago.
Aw, look at them.
Now we're just scrolling.
Whoa, Jesus. All right. I think that's enough. Anything
Oh,
else?
thank God.
Oh, yeah, of course. There's
No, that's plenty. We're good.
another guy said, "Bro just wants a son," smoking face emoji. Brittany continues to inspire us all as she
What?
houses a new child every football season, and we sit here eagerly awaiting a new Mahomie.
Houses a new child? Is that what
Uh,
you said?
Yeah. The NFL
does
wouldn't
that
be
mean?
nearly as fun to watch without the cuts to Brittany Mahomes sitting in the luxury box cheering for her man. Thank you, Brittany, for all the good things you do for the NFL community and its fans. We stand by you, especially Jake.
You got to play that disclaimer again.
Oh, hold on. Yeah, sorry. Sometimes I
This
forget.
segment is purely for comedic purposes, and I do not stand by any of the claims I have just made. We hope to see you back every week for updates on Brittany Mahomes and possibly some fantasy football insights along the way. Thank you for your time.
No.
It's not
Nobody
real.
likes
I
this bit.
swear to God, it's not real. Okay?
Nobody likes this bit.
A lot of, that's the most engagement we've ever had in the comments live, and that's probably not going to continue with the other boring
From that
segments that we
bit.
do. I'm not a fan of the other segments. I don't like talking about fantasy football.
I don't want Brittany Mahomes fans.
Well, we have
I
'em.
want people that want to talk about fantasy football.
Oh, you don't like the balloon chain? Yeah, I don't know. It's a little much.
I don't like Brittany Mahomes, Stephanie. So we're on the same page somewhat.
I'm just turning in. You did miss
Fuck.
Brittany Mahomes.
Sorry,
That's okay.
Kevin.
I think you can go back. You want to just do? We can go over it again.
Yeah, let's just run the segment back real quick for
All right,
Kevin.
I'll leave. Sorry, you just missed it, my man. Next time though, I did get the pizza. Thanks, Mom. Anyways, yeah. Would you guys want to talk about some NFL news and injury updates?
Let's do it.
Yeah, more than anything.
News and injury updates.
Let me get rid of this Brittany Mahomes disclaimer. Yeah. Anyway, so this is a segment where we talk about NFL news and injury updates. Tyler,
Yes, it is.
would you like to take it from here, my man?
Absolutely. Right off the rip here, big news this week out of Carolina. Bryce Young is being benched for Andy Dalton. Panthers head coach Dave Canales was quoted as saying that they have a developmental mindset. People are asking about the future of Bryce Young and like kind of what the benching means. And he basically said that he's not counting out starting Bryce Young in the future. As a reminder here, their 2025 second round pick is still going to Chicago as the final piece of the Bryce Young trade, which basically went like this. It went, Bears received DJ Moore. So I think already the Bears are kind of winning. 2023 first round pick, which turned into an offensive tackle. 2023 second round pick turned into a corner, Tyreek Stevenson. 2024 first round pick, which we all know turned into Caleb Williams. And then finally this 2025 second round pick, with the Panthers receiving the number 1 overall pick in 2023 to pick Bryce Young. So, yeah, this continues to age poorly for Carolina. How are we feeling about them moving forward?
I mean, Carolina, how am I feeling about Carolina? Terrible. Carolina sucks. It's an absolute wasteland. They ruin athletes.
Cam Newton did okay.
Yeah,
there was a bright spot in that history
of the Panthers.
Yeah,
in spite of the Panthers, not because of the Panthers. So
no, I think it's a garbage organization. Terrible general manager. Didn't they fire the general manager that made these moves, or is he still there?
Nope, still there, as far as I understand.
That seems like part of the problem.
Yeah, he's on thin ice now. Oh no, maybe he is. Oh no, it is new. Dan Morgan, as of January 22nd this year.
Oh well,
so
I mean, he's got a lot of pieces to pick up. I mean, a lack of pieces in terms of players, but no, not a very good organization at this point. I think that Bryce Young, he's not being set up for success. I don't know if it's all necessarily his fault. Just look at how Baker Mayfield played there, really bad, and look at how he's playing now. I mean, a lot of it can be based on, your development, and he was kind of just thrown into the fire from day one, which happens to a lot of first overall picks.
I think it'll be really interesting to see how Andy Dalton plays out.
He can't be worse.
Well, yeah,
he could be. He certainly could be. Let's not rule that out.
No, I mean, Bryce
this
Young
is a team that struggles right out of the gate.
But Bryce Young threw for like 60 yards, and
is that true? Is that actually?
It's a crazy amount.
I think this is kind of the ejecto seat button for Bryce Young, in the sense that like things are not off to a great start. Let's pause, evaluate, start Andy Dalton in the meantime, and figure out what the root of the issue is.
He threw for 84 yards last week.
84 yards and an interception. And he rushed for 6.
Crap. Yeah, no touchdowns this year, 3 interceptions. Oh, man. Yeah, I hate it. He's the number 32 QB in the league, if that comes as no surprise.
20% of his points came from 1 rush for 6 yards.
Whew. Hate to see that. Yeah,
big whiff for the Panthers. Big whiff.
So far. We'll see how it turns out, but it's certainly not looking good.
Value-wise, not looking great regardless.
Oh, absolutely not. I mean, they shopped DJ Moore, Christian McCaffrey, Brian Burns. These are all players in their prime. And and have
had great
received
pieces.
effectively nothing in return.
I mean, I'm just so surprised that they didn't end up going after like Stafford or, I mean, just I don't know. Like, I guess they tried to do it with Mayfield.
I think because they're just not a smart organization.
Player personnel wise, like it's just been a struggle since Cam Newton was gone. That era of the Panthers, they have not found a identity as an offense, as a team in general. So I don't blame them for trying to start over. I think this is just a really bad case of like that they didn't know how to start over or what they should be getting for these players in their prime. So it's just, this is what happens. You get nothing in return and you're bad.
Yeah.
It's
And they're
just
stuck in
it
this
is.
for a long time. It's going to take years for them to crawl out of this hole they put themselves in. That's just how the NFL works, unfortunately. Some teams can turn on a dime, but I don't see how they figure this one out.
I mean, it ebbs and flows. There's very few teams that don't experience a downturn at some point.
For sure.
Yeah.
I mean, even the Pats, like they've had a few rough years, even in their dynasty, comparatively. And then the last couple of years before, I mean, even we don't know this year, but last couple of years have been brutal. So
yeah,
it ebbs and flows. Carolina Panthers will be good again eventually, but right now it's a real bad scene over there.
I do think that Andy Dalton gives the receivers at least a marginal bump in terms of what they can do with fantasy.
Oh yeah, I mean it's going to be like. It's going to be an actually like startable. There's going to be startable players.
I think you can flex Deontay Johnson.
I don't know. I don't want to take any shots on who it is until after the first week of Andy Dalton.
I think I would rather flex DeMarcus Robinson this week than Deontay Johnson.
Well, yeah,
absolutely. I mean, that's
Robinson,
right. So like that's saying something.
Because
he's on waivers.
Stafford, and I don't think
what I'm saying. What I'm getting at is that.
But
what I'm saying is that preseason, I didn't think we would be quite there with the Panthers.
Well, yeah, because Puka and Kupp were healthy, but
sure. But all I'm saying is that
I would start
off waivers could be better than Deontay Johnson, who people drafted. So
honestly, Stafford made Kenny Golladay look good enough to get $70 million. I've said it before. I would start you if you were Stafford's wide receiver one.
Right.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Stephanie, it's all a business at the end of the day.
Yeah.
They don't look at these guys as people. They look at them as assets.
Big time.
I didn't realize there was insurance on players. You guys seen anything about that coming out?
No, but that makes a lot of sense.
Teams take out insurance on players for injury.
Yeah.
And there's a whole thing about Tua's injury and whether or not they're going to be able to insure it.
Wow.
Is there insurance on Deshaun Watson having undisclosed sexual assault allegations?
No, but they did remove a clause about paying him if he had another allegation this summer.
Good. That's fantastic.
Can you imagine getting injured at your job and being able to retire with $170 million?
Yeah, it's pretty gross.
Like if you don't play, if they offered you a severance, they're like, here's $170 million because you rammed your head into the wrong thing.
So like every Raiders
into a man that shouldn't be alive.
Yeah, man. Yeah. John Gruden's loaded.
He's loaded. Anything. All right, we'll keep it moving here. Speaking of ebbs and flows and turning it around, how about them Saints? That is not a team that a lot of people picked this year to be popping off through these first 2 weeks. Through the first 2 weeks, Derek Carr has 5 touchdowns and 1 interception. Clint Kubiak offense is looking good so far. They know how to use their players. Alvin Kamara, obviously, with a huge game. I'm sure we'll talk about that more this during the podcast. So what do you guys think? Can they keep it up? Do you think this is a sustainable model?
Do you want my biased take because I have to start Derek Carr for the foreseeable future?
Sure, give it to us.
Yeah.
Oh, I think it's going to be great. I think Derek Carr is going to keep slinging it. Surely he will keep throwing 11 completions for 243 yards and 2 touchdowns.
That sounds like an Anthony Richardson game, actually.
No, because he doesn't rush. So no, it doesn't.
11 completions. Is he that inaccurate? That's crazy.
I mean, he went 11 for 16, so he's not inaccurate. It's just low vol. Like he's just slinging them to Rashid Shaheed, who's
average depth of target is Rashid Shaheed. That's like 40 yards down the field.
Yeah,
so
he's just running it in, so they don't have to.
If I had told you going into week 1 that after 2 weeks, Baker Mayfield and Derek Carr would be the top 2 QBs for fantasy in the NFL, what would you have said?
I would have said, of course, I see it because I traded for Derek Carr in August.
I think Derek Carr is the more
I fucking
surprising
hate
of
your
the
ego
two.
so much.
Of course he is. Yeah, no, I in no way thought Derek Carr was going to do this. I just thought Derek Carr was one of the only like obtainable QBs that I could get in Dynasty League for a low cost that's going to be a starter for the whole season. And I already had Spencer Rattler too.
So yeah.
Yeah, and all I had to trade away was Cade Stover because I traded him to an Ohio fan.
I'm pretty sure he just tore his ACL too.
Did Cade Stover tear his ACL?
I think he did. I think I just saw that today. Hold on, let me double check.
What?
How about Chris Olave too?
No,
I mean,
he
you
didn't.
see Derek Carr popping off, and you're like, Chris Olave's got to be involved in that. He's starting to
Not
look
really.
like
Brevin Jordan
Yeah,
tore his ACL. My bad.
Yeah.
it's starting to like. When do you panic about Chris Olave? He was going, first, second round. I was seeing him at like the 110 in some leagues.
Yeah, that's pretty brutal.
I didn't take him anywhere because I did not feel like because I think he was top 20 last year, and you're paying a top 10 value on him in the draft. I never felt like that was a good place to pick him because I didn't think he was gonna be better than last year.
That certainly seemed like an overvaluation to me too. I agree with you, but I mean, I would still, third, fourth round if he's there. I was, pretty optimistic on Chris Olave this year.
He's had 6 receptions this season.
That is criminally low considering Derek Carr's output lately. So,
yeah, I think it improves. I think it'll like you said, everything ebbs and flows. I think it'll change week to week, but he's gonna have big games, absolutely, without question.
Yeah, high upside moving forward for sure.
Yeah.
Well, moving on here. Despite what was projected to be a 3 to 4 week absence due to his knee injury, I believe it was an MCL sprain. There is a small chance that Packers quarterback Jordan Love can make it back in time to start Sunday at the Titans. Now, I still probably have him as doubtful, to be honest. I think this is a little bit of game planning by the Packers. I think realistically, there's no reason to rush him back out. I think Malik Willis was more than serviceable. Like, he was fine last week against the Colts. Yeah, they beat the Colts with Malik Willis.
But does that mean he was good?
Yeah. Wait,
he was serviceable.
He was serviceable, but Josh Jacobs also had a crazy game. He rushed for like what 170 yards.
Lean on your run game, lean on your offensive line a little bit here, and I don't see a reason to rush Jordan Love back out there this weekend.
Malik Willis was 12 for 14 for 122 yards and a touchdown, and he ran for 41 yards. That's not bad. I mean, it was a Josh Jacobs week, and he didn't throw an interception, so
that's like if you protect the ball, easy completions, you can win football games like that. We've seen it before.
Part of the worst QB class in a long time. In 2021 or 2022, yeah.
Yeah, not great.
What's the deal with Tua right now, though, Tyler?
So,
he is the quarterback of his family.
Yeah, this was kind of the big story out of last week, but Tua Tagovailoa obviously concussed off of DeMar Hamlin, mind you, which is just, again, insane. He's officially been placed on injured reserve, so he will have to miss a minimum of 4 games. The Dolphins signed Tyler Huntley to their practice squad. The plan looks to be that they're starting Skylar Thompson this week, but who knows after that. Tua's gonna be meeting with independent neurologists to get multiple opinions. I guess his future is uncertain, I think, as a whole, but I don't know if it's a direct quote from him, but I've heard him or people saying that he said, he's not considering retirement as of yet.
I don't think as a football player, as a competitor, that you look at that and say, I'm done. I think a lot of people would have to do some convincing, which I'm sure they did last time this happened, but I mean, it's your long-term health. This guy could get CTE at 30. I mean, at this point, this is really, really bad.
Yeah.
So
it's scary. It is.
It's really sad too, because like this guy's worked his whole life to get to this point, and obviously is a really well-respected player and leader on his team, and it's a bummer, man. I'm around Miami Dolphins fans all the time, and I've never felt for Dolphins fans, but I do a little bit in this circumstance.
Yeah, I don't feel for Dolphins fans, but I feel for Tua.
Yeah,
Let's put it that
I
way.
guess. I don't like
Tua
most
seems
Dolphins
like a great
fans,
guy. I got to be
but-
honest.
Yeah.
He's a great guy. I hope the best for him. I mean, he's on my dynasty roster, and I believe exactly what Mike McDaniel believes.
Yeah.
Or, I'm sorry, Josh McDaniel. Wait,
Tua's been
no.
through a lot. I do have
Tua's
a
been
Funko
through a
Pop.
lot.
The Funko Pop of Tua I left in the box out of respect.
Yeah, you got to keep him protected.
Exactly.
Keep him away
you can't
from-
have him just out there in the open.
No,
Keep him away from that DeMar Hamlin Funko Pop. Just far away.
Yeah, that one is buried deep down in my
Oh
closet.
God. Good Lord.
Um,
AJ Brown was did not practice on Wednesday with a hamstring, and he did tell ESPN reporters that he expects to miss a couple weeks with his injury.
I do have a chime in about AJ Brown if you guys don't mind hearing it.
Okay, let's hear him.
I'm
There
sure.
we
Yeah.
go. Let's see what Dr. Logan has to say.
AJ Brown, we're looking at a hamstring strain, grade 1, nothing severe, should be back within a week or two. But the major concern with hamstrings, even grade 1, is the re-injury once you're back on the field. He is at risk for another hamstring strain that could potentially be more severe and put him out for future weeks this season. Hopefully not, we'll see.
Damn, thanks, Dr. Logan.
God, these
Always,
are always
always
so
on the move.
good.
Always on the
You
move.
know what?
this guy.
Props for not actively being driving a vehicle in this one.
On the
He said
highway.
he was out. He's out walking the dog actually, and he called me at work. We talked for like 40 minutes. At work.
Nice.
About fantasy, and he's like, all right, yeah, I'm gonna do a bunch of short ones for you. I think it'll be good. I'm like, all right, we'll move it up in the show. I'm excited. Let's
Nice.
go.
No, I
Right
love
on.
that.
No, that's good analysis.
It
we
is.
have them on
Um,
staff. It costs us $40,000 a year to have these.
Yeah, please
Yeah.
donate.
I had to take out a
Please give us
second
money.
mortgage on my house to pay Logan.
You're hemorrhaging money massively to have these segments.
No, but I mean, as an AJ Brown owner, this is a tough one. Hamstrings are tricky. It's a type of thing where it's like they play, and then the first play of the game they tweak it, and you started them, and then they're out.
Yeah.
So
Re-injury
it's
risk is high.
very, very tricky.
For sure. For sure.
Yeah,
Dr.
love you, Dr.
Logan.
Logan.
Shout out.
And I believe he's also got a chime in about the next guy here, Deebo Samuel.
Yeah, Deebo Samuel, another huge name in fantasy football. Calf injury, doubtful for this week. We have no official news from the team as
Yeah.
to whether or not he's going to be placed on injured reserve.
Well, let's see what Dr. Logan thinks.
Deebo Samuel, we're looking at a calf strain with no Achilles tendon involvement, purely soft tissue, should be a couple of weeks, and he should be back to 100%. That's unlike his teammate Christian McCaffrey, who does have Achilles tendon involvement. But that's it on Deebo.
Yeah.
Feels a little worse than, maybe the timeline for AJ Brown. But again, not good. My two guys, man, other than Devontae Adams, those are my receivers in Dynasty. So I'm not feeling too good about that.
Don't worry, Devontae Adams is coming.
I think he did show up last week. So you know what? Gardner Minshew is going to supply my
Oh,
guy.
no,
and give me some
I meant an
wins.
injury's coming.
Shut the fuck up.
Nice.
I hope the rest of your league of record team gets absolutely decimated this week.
Oh, no.
It's fine. That's fine. Who has 2 championships? Anybody
You
have
have
2?
3, actually. You have
No,
3.
I'm saying who has 2 because I don't have to worry until somebody else has 2.
I'm getting there. Just wait.
Anyways,
and Jake's done.
who else we got? Maybe a guy that's injured in the league of record that Jake has that he was really hyped about last week.
Oh
Cooper Kupp.
man,
What's going on
Cooper
with
that
him?
was so disappointing.
Yeah.
Actually, this is upswing a little bit. This is better news than it was last week.
So he's listed as having a high ankle sprain.
That's never good, Jake.
Typical missed time. You're looking at 3 to 5 week range.
That's honestly, it's better than what I thought it was going to be. I thought he was missing 6 guaranteed. So
Well, what does Logan have to say?
Cooper Kupp sidelined for at least 4 weeks with a high ankle sprain. They've got him in a cast right now, really trying to protect it. And it's hard to tell with a high ankle sprain. They're saying 4 weeks, but Saquon Barkley was out 6 to 8 weeks when it happened to him. It's really the kind of injury that he's going to have to show that he can perform at that level. And I don't think it's something that you can just count on him being back in 4 weeks.
Logan doesn't know
Ooh.
anything.
Yeah,
Not
he
qualified at all.
clearly not biased like Jake
doctor.
whatsoever.
I am doctor.
I think
I'm
his
a
dog's
doctor.
off leash because he's swinging his arm pretty freely, and then he's holding his phone with his other. So maybe he's in like a nice walking path. And
Maybe he doesn't have a
Off
dog. Who
leash.
knows?
no,
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure it's a dog, but
Walking these
he could lie to me.
dogs. He's just walking
It's out
around
of frame.
barefoot.
Just walking around with the shoes off.
Not looking good for Cooper
Dow.
Kupp.
No, not looking good at all.
Even worse for Puka Nacua. He's on the IR, set to miss at least 5 to 7 weeks.
Well, he has to miss at least 4 technically on the IR, but yeah, it could be in line to miss 5 to 7 with a sprained PCL.
Oof, we don't love that.
Yeah. Moving
Some of
on.
my injuries got deleted here, but there is a few more. I got Isaiah Pacheco. If Logan wants to chime in about that.
Yeah.
Isaiah Pacheco. We're looking at 6 to 8 weeks for a fractured fibula. Luckily, there has been no ligament damage, and when he's back, he should be absolutely 100%.
Logan says the dog is on leash.
On leash. Very good. Very good.
I got to fight for my life for about 6 weeks before my team's back, and that's not good. That's mid-season.
That's assuming your other players don't get hurt in the process.
Yeah.
Too. Just
Go
think about
fuck
that.
yourself.
That's not a guarantee. Because that's fantasy football, Jake. But
Allie texted me this today, and she goes, all of my starters are questionable. I was like, that's fantasy football.
that's what you signed up for, sweetheart.
That's how it goes.
Yeah, not looking good. Looks like somebody actually has a question here. You guys giving advice? If so, we take in Baker Mayfield or Dak starting this week. Baker at Denver, Dak at Baltimore.
Baker.
From Mr.
Baker.
Bobby D.
Baltimore is tough, and Dak's didn't have a good week last week. I think Baltimore's going to figure him out. It's a little biased because I love Baltimore, but Denver. Although Baker's going up against
Pat Surtain, dude.
Pat Surtain.
Pat Surtain and Mike Evans is not a good combo.
Who has Baker played
but
so far?
Godwin
is literally the wide receiver 1 so far this year.
Yeah, Godwin's been eating,
which is wild.
He's gone against Diggs and Micah Parsons, so it's not like he can't do it against a tough defense.
Baker's played Detroit and Washington, which middle ground defenses. Washington, not. Again, I'm not really up to speed on the quality of defenses so far this year.
Detroit's got Hutchinson. Hutchinson's the animal, but I don't know what the coverage is like.
I'm probably rolling with Baker, man. I'm going to stick on that train.
You want to hit the hot hand? Why not?
Yeah.
Yeah, if hot hand mentality is the thing, then I go Baker. The problem being that environment is not friendly. Oh, I see at Denver. They're not actually at Denver, so they're playing at home against Denver. That makes me feel a little bit better.
Yeah, I know what you're saying.
Dak has been extremely inconsistent.
I'm telling you, Baltimore is going to tear him up. The Baltimore defense has been good. It's just their
Baltimore defense has been good, but Pat Surtain is an animal. I think you could start Baker Mayfield over Dak. I am considering benching Mike Evans this week.
I wouldn't blame you for starting Baker over Dak. I don't think anybody would right now.
I think the Ravens are out for blood. If they go 0-3 to start the season, then that's not going to look on them. So I think the Ravens are going to be.
I'll tell you,
fucking around.
Way more of that is on the O line than anything else. They let Crosby have a clear shot at Lamar too, and
no problem, Bobby.
Did you see the picture? Brutal. Lamar's looking dead on the camera, just getting cleaned out by Max Crosby. So that O line needs some work, and I think that's the biggest problem for the Ravens. Their defense is firing on all cylinders. So I wouldn't start Dak. Dak hasn't looked amazing, and
question from Logan, Dr. Logan. Oh my God, Demarcus Robinson, P. Ryan, or Amari Cooper at flex half PPR. That's probably his home league, if I were to guess.
Honestly, I'd roll with Demarcus Robinson.
I would probably roll Robinson. Amari Cooper's a close second, though. I don't know who Cleveland's playing, though.
I'm not starting any Cleveland wide receivers until I have to. And also, P. Ryan isn't even a question for me. Every time that their main guy is out, it's a total, they split up the work. somebody's going to get receptions, somebody's going to get groundwork. Like they're going to split work.
Yeah.
I wouldn't start any Kansas City running back that isn't named Isaiah Pacheco when he's healthy.
Yeah. They signed Kareem Hunt is back on the Chiefs. They have Samaje Perine. They have Carson Steele. It's just going to be gross. They put Xavier Worthy in at jet sweeps and stuff too. It's like,
coach came out and said, Kareem Hunt still got it. So, and Amari Cooper, absolutely not. I don't know why he's going around so much in the league record. Yeah, he's in on 90% of snaps. He's getting 8 and 9 targets.
It's week 2, and Amari Cooper's been traded 3 times at least. In 2 weeks.
At least. I don't want Amari Cooper. I would rather miss out on the big game. And also, the Giants' defense isn't nothing. Like the Giants' defense is the lone bright spot other than Malik Neighbors. Now they
solid defensive line.
They brought Myron Burns in. Like that's no joke. And Deshaun Watson has not looked like Deshaun Watson used to look. No interest. No interest in any Browns players.
Few other injuries to rattle through. I got 2 more from Logan as well, but Roma Dunze limited in practice. I think he plays. CD is also he practiced today, Thursday.
They looked like rest on Wednesday. An alarming one today did not practice today with a hamstring is George Kittle. So you're looking at a 49ers team that is basically neutered without their weapons. If George Kittle does indeed miss Sunday. I think they're playing the Chargers, so that could be a very low-scoring game.
Another one that's very worrisome is Kenneth Walker. He missed practice Thursday. There was a video that surfaced of him struggling to run straight and nursing his oblique as he did it.
Yeah.
So
it's not
it's hard to fathom him cutting and making moves on the field if he can't even run straight. So not great for Kenneth Walker. A lot of running back injuries. Joe Mixon's another one here. Let's see what Logan has to say about Joe Mixon.
Joe Mixon is only likely to be sidelined for 1 to 2 weeks with a high ankle sprain. The hip drop tackle resulted in the exact mechanism of a high ankle sprain, and he was very fortunate not to miss 4 to 8 weeks. The MRI revealed there is not a lot of damage, and he should be good to go soon.
Oh God, I didn't know there was a clear answer on it, if he would miss time or not. But
I'm bummed that Allie has him because I don't want to take advantage.
As you shouldn't. Take advantage of me or something.
Yeah,
take advantage of her. That sounds awful.
That's what I just said.
Do you think Cam Akers over under 15 this week?
15 points?
Yeah, over under 15 points for Cam Akers this week.
Under.
Okay.
Yeah, I think
not that much.
Under's a safe bet.
Yeah.
Joe Mixon's one of the guys I did not seek out getting handcuffs for in Dynasty, and now I kind of wish I tried to get Cam Akers. But also Dameon Pierce is the handcuff, and he's also hurt. So
he is also hurt. If it's not Joe Mixon, I'm not crazy interested in Texans running backs.
Yeah.
My other option this week is put Najee in, and then I have to start Brandon Cooks to Marcus Robinson, and I probably have to throw like Adam Thielen in because everybody else is hurt.
Let's get matchups. Speaking of,
okay, why don't we move on to matchups here? Let's talk some week 3 matchups. Well, we're starting with week 2, but here we go. I actually wanted to switch it up this week. If we can go ahead and do dudes and duds first, that way it doesn't confuse everybody when we've already talked about last week. So let's start with our dudes and duds of week 2.
Dudes and duds of the week.
Oh, wrong banner. Sorry, those Funko Pop dudes.
Man.
The week. Here we go. Dudes and duds of the week. Jakelers, what do you got for us?
Dudes and duds of the week. I mean, I had a goddamn brutal week. So I mean,
you won in, didn't you win somewhere? You won in
I won in both leagues that don't matter.
Oh, okay. Well, you got to give us a dude in one of the major leagues, no matter what.
I mean, I don't know. It's tough because a lot of people got injured.
Usually you'd be like, man, they're all so good. I don't know.
I mean, George Kittle got injured, and still put up 20 points. So I guess George Kittle. But honestly, I got to give it to Justin Jefferson for that 96 yard, just ridiculous touchdown. That was crazy.
George Kittle got a 96-yard touchdown?
No, Jefferson. George Kittle got 20 points.
I was only half listening.
Yeah, I was talking through him.
Jake, Nate Lenazzi says, "What's up? Thanks again, fellas."
Yeah.
Nice, dude. Thanks for listening, man. Thanks for watching, joining us on the live
Love
stream.
love to have Nate in here. That's great to hear.
Yeah, enjoy the Pats game too. I'm hopefully gonna go watch the Pats game, probably second half at this point, but that's okay. Cool. So, Tyler, dude of the week.
Oh, dude of the week. Not necessarily the best performance I've ever seen in my life, but finally coming through for me a little bit in my league of record loss. I was worried about this guy after week 1. Was Drake London against a really tough Philly secondary. I would argue like top 5 in the league. Drake London got his 7 targets. He caught 6 of them for, 54 yards is nothing crazy. But 54 yards and a touchdown. We're playing PPR, full PPR. So 17 points out of Drake London. It's pretty good.
Did he get the game winner? Because I fell asleep.
Did he? I also might have fallen asleep. I don't remember.
I think he did.
What?
I don't know for sure, but
Drake London game winner against Philly. Was that Monday night?
Darnell Mooney.
Oh, that's right. I did see that one.
Yeah, brutal loss.
Super duper
But no, Drake London. Did Jake do his dud? Am I doing my dud here?
Nope, he didn't do his dud. I'm gonna do my dud here.
Okay.
And it's an obvious one. It helped me get the win over Tyler. I just, for the record, I still would have beat him even if I had not started this player.
So cool. What a flex.
I'm just saying.
You should see my team that Sean played.
115 yards, 3 touchdowns on the ground, 65 yards with 2 receptions and another touchdown through the air. Just absolutely ridiculous. I think it deserves this drop.
Alvin.
Yes, it does.
Thank you, Alvin.
Man, who has him in Dynasty? That'd be a really good Dynasty asset to have right now.
Would it
Hey,
be? He's getting older.
I don't like you anymore. How's it going in League of Record with your fucking garbage team that nobody wants? And it's
I'm not worried about it because I'm
Aren't you in
projected
last
to beat
place
this week.
Aren't you in last place with our new
there's some
punishment
other.
you have to eat an onion on the show.
There's some other
You know
0-2
what?
teams.
We don't have a new punishment where you have to eat an onion.
That's what we talked about last week. We have a whole onion drop now. So if you come in last place in any of these major leagues, you must eat an onion on the show.
What? When did
So
that?
I would suggest improving your team.
Yeah, I'm not worried about it. I made a trade with Jeff. Or no, it wasn't with Jeff. It was with
Thanks, Mom. Thanks for the
Logan.
pizza. I'm gonna try to have 3 pieces tonight, and then I'll bring it to work tomorrow for lunch. Thanks. Go Pats.
Go Pats, baby.
Thanks, Stephanie.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Duds of the week. Jake, who do you got for your dud?
Jerome Ford, 7 points. Fuck the Cleveland offense.
Deonta Foreman got 15 carries. Jerome Ford got like 7.
Yeah, I'm not worried. Devonta Foreman something will happen to him.
Like, what? Are you gonna sell?
He's old.
That was very foreboding.
Or something?
He's
What are you
old.
gonna fucking do?
Yeah, well.
So are you? Tyler, who's
No.
yours?
28.
Dud of the week. Swifties rise up, dude. Travis Kelce
Oof.
has
Yeah.
looked horrible
He's
through 2
above.
weeks. It's because I've picked him the last 2 years. I've been like,
Yeah.
Travis Kelce, wheels are falling off. Travis Kelce, wheels are falling off. Wheels are falling off. 3 years in a row. And I'm like, God damn, tight end one every year. As soon as I start picking him, no, nothing. Against
Watch. He's gonna have 2 crazy games in the playoffs, and everyone's gonna forget about this season.
he's had 7 targets all year. He's had 4 catches all year so far.
He's
in there
even
playing,
commented on the fact that he's just not happy with his current production, which he shouldn't be.
Yeah, here's the thing though, is it's the Chiefs. Think about them like you would think about maybe the Ravens right now, maybe how you would feel about Dallas. These are teams that you would hope moving forward understand that it's a marathon, not a sprint. So through the first few weeks, they're like, okay, let's get settled. Let's learn some things, get things figured out, ironed out. I don't think they're going to make Travis Kelce full speed day one because ideally you want him for the playoffs and you want him to be healthy late season when it matters. So that's what I'm telling myself to make myself feel better about the situation.
Right.
That being said, I'm panicking a little bit. If things don't change in the next 2 weeks, maybe 3 weeks, I'm probably going to shop him.
I am
'Cause I need him.
considering dropping him as well. I have him in a couple places. And it's not, I don't feel so good, but I also don't feel so good about my other dud, Sam Laporta right now. He's getting a lot of targets taken away by Jameson Williams, who I have nowhere.
He was tight end 1 last
So-
year. So he was supposed to be tight end 1 this
Yeah.
year, right, John?
Well, I mean, Kyle Pitts is definitely doing better so far than Sam Laporta, and Hollywood Brown is doing definitely worse than George Pickens, considering he hasn't played a snap this year.
Very true.
So
Very true.
I've lost that trade. Like I said I would, I just didn't think I would lose it this soon.
Week 2, I had a feeling.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
No
Come
offense to
on.
you. It's more so about your luck with fantasy football. As soon as you got rid of Kyle
Those are
Pitts, I'm like,
bad.
oh, dude, this is Kyle Pitts' year. He's going
Kyle Pitts
crazy.
popping off.
Yeah,
If we're factoring that in, then yeah, absolutely.
yeah,
The second
for
I
sure.
kill somebody is when they do well.
Yeah,
I'm
that's
just
how it
putting the game on
works.
the background so we can. I think that's kind of.
So we can get copyright strike by the NFL and get a cease and desist letter.
I don't think that would happen. Would that happen?
I'm kidding. We're okay because we're making it's maybe it's not fair use. We're making original content right now. We're not
Wait, is this
broadcasting the
legal?
game.
Maybe I shouldn't do that. Maybe I shouldn't do that.
Yeah, I don't
well.
really know.
I don't give a shit. Okay. Yeah. So let's move on to our talking matchups. Let's go back to last week. See how we did. Let's go ahead and look at the Dynasty League. Tyler,
Yeah.
you played Jakelers. Why don't you guys break down your matchup?
I did. You want me to start, Jake?
Yep, go for it. You might as well.
Yeah.
You're gonna get it in.
So, first of all, I just want to say it was very nice to see all of those fantasy dudes turn out for a Patriots game this past
Yep.
week. We had a blast. It was nice because I was not glued to my phone and staring at fantasy results. I was checking it here and there during the game, but it was a good time. So just to be in the presence of all the dudes.
Always feels good.
Right.
Always feels good.
Seeing Alvin Kamara on the scoreboard in Gillette Stadium with the DraftKings like fantasy leaders of the day just start creeping up there. I was like, oh boy, he's having a good game. And then turned into just absolute nonsense. So 1 o'clock games were very nice to me. Gave me some padding, obviously, with the 44 from Alvin Kamara.
God,
That's
if he has
really
a
hard to
normal
come back
game-
from.
If he has a normal,
He has a normal game,
I
dude. I'm
probably
in
win.
trouble.
That's what I'm saying. Like none of your
And
other
that's
players did all
Tua.
that well.
That's Tua on Jake's team getting actively
Yeah.
concussed and out for the rest of the game. That's how close this was.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, it was 134 to 150.
Yeah,
and it
George
was.
Kittle
I
with a
mean,
big game.
yeah,
think that-
really.
I
And
want to
Metcalf,
point out
dude.
that
you
Pittman's
guys
not
just-
doing much so far.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
I'm a little
correct.
stressed out about Pittman. I think Anthony Richardson's getting his footing. He's, I think, a very talented quarterback. I don't think that's really a debate. It's just like, how are they settling in right now? Michael Pittman's getting the targets, but it seems to be kind of all or nothing with Anthony Richardson lately. So we'll see what
Mhm.
happens.
Is that it?
I can keep. I'll keep. I mean, DK Metcalf saw in person. Obviously, hated as a Patriots fan to see that happen, but had the breakaway touchdown against blown coverage, kind of miscommunication in the Patriots secondary. That was tough, but resulted in a great day for him. 28 points, 10 catches for 129 and a touchdown. That's way more than I was expecting. I was a little disappointed. Michael Pittman, Mike Evans, Isaiah Likely put me in a tough spot. CeeDee Lamb had a very serviceable game, 19 points. Josh Jacobs did have a great game yardage-wise, didn't turn into an insane fantasy performance. Had a fumble towards the end there, but 13 points from him was decent. So, yeah, I kind of squeaked this one out off the back of Alvin Kamara and DK Metcalf, which I said before the season started, like, the thing I love about my team is that if things go bad, it is star-studded. All I need is like 1 or 2 guys to just like absolutely pop like they did to be in it.
I would take the performance I had from this team any single week. Like I have no problem with 134 points. That wins you the week in most weeks.
Yeah, absolutely.
I outscored most of the league, and everybody except for you was within 5 points of me.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, that's a fantasy dude's week for you. Whenever we play each other, it's usually a bloodbath in one way or the other. I mean, I feel like most of our matchups aren't close. I don't know if that's true. I don't know if that's an actual
Yeah, we have
fact.
to get
I
some
feel like
data
for
on
week
that, 'cause
5.
I kind of agree
we
with you.
usually blow each other out. I don't know why, but
Yeah,
I mean,
phrasing.
this
So
wasn't a
happy for it.
blowout. This was a close one.
uh,
I lost
I
by
mean-
16 points because Alvin Kamara put up 44. That's an
okay.
entire outlier game.
We'll see about that. I don't
What do
know.
you mean we'll see about that? He's not going to
Alvin
score
Kamara's-
4 touchdowns most. Yeah, he's done it before, but he's only done it like once.
He had a 27-point, 28 game. Yeah, all right, whatever.
Yeah,
Sure.
if he scores 27 points, motherfucker, I win.
Okay. Fine, whatever. How's your quarterback situation looking right now?
Shut
pretty good,
up. You
actually.
know how my quarterback situation's looking. It's Derek Carr, but Derek Carr's been looking nice. He's QB2
Derek
on
Carr,
the
Kirk
season.
Cousins. Yeah, he's doing all right, man. You picked a good
Honestly, I
backup,
mean-
that's for sure.
Derek Carr, Kirk Cousins, and Jacoby Brissett is my third man
Hey,
up.
man, that's the money ball QB position. That's okay.
Hey man, he's a guy who starts for a football team right now at the quarterback position. So
That is accurate.
that.
Something.
Speaking of, I don't know, fantasy football, I played Troy this week, who has been just rolling through the fantasy dudes so far this season.
yeah, I
beat
played
Tyler
him.
week 1.
James
beat
Cook has
me.
been really. That's what it was.
Fucking
James
low.
Out and geez, I had not really the best week, but Jalen Hurts finally, put up, reasonable numbers that I expect from him on a weekly basis. Bijan has been very consistent. Joe Mixon got hurt, so he wasn't really able to produce all that much in the second half. Good games from Devontae Adams and Deebo Samuel. Just Devontae really just 12 targets and a touchdown. I mean, you can't ask for much more there. But unfortunately, I didn't have AJ Brown this week due to his hamstring injury, so forced me to put Brandon Cooks in my lineup, who did nothing. And Sam Laporta continues to disappoint. So tough week. Najee Harris didn't score a touchdown, so that's another water bet lost to Tyler. He's been very
Thanks,
consistent,
Najee.
getting 3 to 4
He
yards.
gets touches.
20
They're
to
not
17.
quality touches,
Oh
but
my
he gets
god,
touches.
is this the make John feel better about Najee Harris segment again?
I don't know,
I'm-
man.
I'm still.
You lost in the
still-
flex. You had Brandon Cooks and Najee Harris, and you lost to Devin Singletary, Rashid Shaheed by a substantial margin.
Yeah.
Blown out, even.
It was really bad. I remember
And-
last week I was like, because I was talking to Tyler when we were together on Saturday, and I was like, these names don't feel like they're going to produce more than these names. Yet here we are. I mean, Shaheed has been looking really good, and
He's been
And
looking
the bad
great.
news is Troy could have scored more. He has Darnell Mooney on his bench and Jerry Jeudy.
well, I mean, yeah, he's not going to put those guys in. I mean,
Those
they
are
haven't done
Darnell
those were
Mooney
tough
in over Lad
starts.
McConkey. I don't know.
On
I
most
would've
weeks,
started
dude,
Although,
I
you
would
know,
not.
Losing Pacheco does hurt him
Oh, big time.
because the
Big
next
time.
man
He's
up at
gonna have to-
RB is Singletary, and that means he has to start probably one of Polk, Judy, or Mooney.
Yeah,
So not great. And
but James Cook is basically carrying him at running back. So I mean, I wouldn't be too concerned if I were him. 3 touchdowns for Cook is crazy, and it happened in the first quarter.
3
I think.
touchdowns for Cook is crazy, but Alvin Kamara scoring 4. Yeah, that'll happen again. All
Yeah,
right,
because
John.
he's done it before. James Cook, you don't expect that. I mean, that should.
Shut the
you know,
fuck up.
It's true. I mean, you're fucking completely biased because you don't have him. Sorry. But yeah, bad game from CJ Stroud, but still, it didn't matter. Troy is going to continue to roll through this league, and yeah,
No, it's coming to an end this week, unfortunately
say
for
so.
Troy. It
Why
has
do you
to.
play him this week?
Yeah, I play him this week.
he does.
There you
In
go.
fact, play him this week. How's that going to go, Jake? Why don't you tell us about your upcoming matchup with Troy?
My upcoming matchup with Troy, well, he just lost Isaiah Pacheco, so that's great, and he has Darnell Mooney in. I don't know if Darnell Mooney's going to have the week he did last week, and that makes me feel
You just
good.
said, "Wow!" Imagine if he put Darnell Mooney in.
Well, yeah, because of the week last week. I'm saying he had a good week last week. Nico Collins, questionable. Don't know about that. He's limited Thursday. He'll probably play against Minnesota. Nico Collins has been an animal. Just an
Yeah,
He's a
absolute
dog.
dog.
He's a dog out there. It's fucking
Yeah,
ridiculous.
yeah. And you didn't believe a fucking single thing I said about
No, I
Nico
didn't.
Collins. You could have had him for pennies. Nothing.
You
could
traded
have
him
had
away
All
anyway.
of us could have
How
had
does
him
that
for.
feel?
You could have had
You
him
traded him-
because he was on your team, Jake.
Yeah, I
Why
know.
do you?
But
Why am I the
would-
idiot? You're the one that got rid of him.
But I would go back and redo that trade over again because that was a big trade with Mac to get rid of him. That was a like team changing trade. Let's run through that real quick. So I gave away Albert Ogwegabon. I don't have that one. Nico
Albert
Collins,
Ogwegabon.
Chuba. Albert O, yeah. Nico Collins, Chuba Hubbard, Elijah Moore, 2 firsts, and I got Adams, Fournette, Godwin, Hunt, and Davis Price. And I would do that again in a heartbeat.
You got Chris Godwin and Devontae
you know.
Adams. The rest is kind of stinky poo poo. But
Rest is garbage. I mean,
I don't know, man.
yeah,
Getting rid of
rest-
Nico Collins and 2 firsts for Devontae
Shut
Adams
the
and Chris
fuck
Godwin.
up.
I don't know that I would do that
is
again.
That is absolutely a hindsight bias.
I
I
don't
would
think
still
so.
go back and do that trade at the same time.
I don't
Yes,
know.
it
I was
is.
never huge on Chris Godwin. Is my thing. He looks
Oh
great
my
this
God.
year.
I don't know who these.
I think
firsts
that
turned
helps
into
you this year.
either.
You guys are smoking crack if you think you wouldn't take this in 2023 in March. This is 2 seasons ago now.
I'm sorry. You're right. I was thinking March this year. Yeah, 2 seasons
Yeah.
ago.
Yes.
Yeah, I think I agree with that.
Nico Collins was absolutely
Devontae Adams
nobody this
especially.
season.
Dude, I'm
Yeah.
pretty sure at the time Fournette and Kareem Hunt were not on a football team.
That is
So, I
true.
mean,
They were free
Kareem
agents.
Hunt
That
was
part I'm
on
kind of
it.
like, eh.
No, Kareem Hunt was on Cleveland.
no, he wasn't. He was a free agent. Got signed with him, and so he signed with them in the offseason. At the time, he was definitely not on the team.
Okay,
Yeah,
well,
it was
either
off
way,
season, and then Davis Price
Godwin
was
and Adams is fine there
Pacheco.
anyway.
handcuff.
Either
Godwin
way,
is-
I mean, yeah, it's just crazy to see what Nico's, pulled out of the hat. He's been
But-
very, very good.
I think that this is a win for me. I think losing Pacheco was kind of a big blow, and starting Mooney and Shaheed. God, you got to think they figure out Shaheed at some point.
I don't know,
mean,
man.
He's breaking off crazy big touchdowns, and they haven't even been down. The Saints haven't even been down. I mean, Carolina,
They're
call it
just
whatever you will.
slinging it,
Carolina
man.
sucks, but Carolina or Dallas doesn't suck. So
Dallas is a Super Bowl contender, and
yep.
Rashid Shaheed, I think will come back to earth a little bit. I think we're gonna by end of season classify him as just boom or bust. It's either Rashid Shaheed breakaway touchdown game, or he gets 2-3 targets and finishes with like 7 points.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't think that'll be the case. I think that he's going to be a pretty solid option.
Why don't we move over to the League of Record here with Week 2 matchups. We'll start with Jake against Chris here.
Yep, another
Chris
brutal
H.
race to the bottom. Lost 92 to 115. Really brutal.
Yikes.
I mean, Pacheco got hurt. Granted, he had a decent game before he got hurt, but really what killed me is Evan Ingram going out morning of the game, and then Cooper Kupp going out during the game. Jalen Waddle didn't have a nice game. Like those things killed me. Everything else I could have come back from and probably won. But
I'm shocked you even got a reception from Jordan Atkins on the Browns.
I mean, it's not like Njoku hasn't been relevant. I thought Akins would at least get something.
Oh yeah, that's true. Yeah,
That's just another one of those like I don't disagree with your thought, Jake. It's just like, is it the tight end position on the Cleveland Browns or is it David Njoku? And for me, in that scenario, it's David Njoku. He's a freak. He's a
Also,
great
your
athlete.
other option. You didn't really have any other options. Like maybe
I mean,
it was maybe.
It was Hunter Henry, which hindsight bias, sure, but no one could have said he was going to get 12 targets and 8 receptions for 109 when he got 3 the week before for 3 points.
Sure.
Yeah, of course.
Hunter Henry's been wildly inconsistent. Going back, I would still look at that and say, well, there's the opportunity.
Sure.
Yeah. Tyler, our matchup. You know what? Pretty much the opposite. Just because I had Alvin Kamara on my side, and
the Kamara giveth and the Kamara taketh. That's what I said.
Yeah. That's the blessing and the curse of being in so many leagues is you have to go against your guys every now and then. Pretty great week for me. 151 points, 44 points from Kamara. Najee, here he is again. I can't get away from him. With his solid 8 points. Amon-Ra, finally, 18 targets. I mean, for the love of God.
Stupid.
That's what I want. That's what I want. Didn't get in the end zone. And if he did, I mean, that's a 30-point game easily. Laporta, again, didn't do great. I have him in our 2 leagues here. Marvin Harrison came to play. He is not fucking around. He is the real deal. He looked like a dog out there. Only 8
You were
targets.
so worried about him after week 1, dude. You were like puking. So let's chill out on Marvin Harrison a little bit. He had some really nice catches in really nice situations. He only hauled in 4
God.
targets. 8 targets is what I'm looking at here. That's what I would be excited about. I'm not counting on 132 out of 4 catches every week.
Rashid Shaheed's basically doing that, and we're talking about
not
how
really
can't shut him down. That's literally what he's done. So
okay.
I mean, come on. We're like, oh God, I don't know if they're gonna find an answer.
I'm not saying I wouldn't have Marvin Harrison on my team, because I would. This is just not going to be every single week. Okay, I don't care. You don't trade good players away, right? You don't downgrade mid-season and then come to regret it playoff time. Never happened once.
I refuse to do that again. I think I have a good thing going here. I'm not trading any of these free receivers. Garrett Wilson, I think he's gonna have a good game tonight. As a Patriots fan, I hate saying it, but I think he will. I think he gets in the end zone at least. I think he puts up 15 plus 20 points, maybe.
I think it's an Allen Lazard game.
I think it's a Breece Hall game, to be honest with you.
Yeah, it's probably a Breece Hall game. Zach German is beating the shit out of the Patriots.
Yeah, it did not look good.
I mean, so were all the receivers. I mean, JSN had like 14 targets. Like,
yeah, we couldn't get anything. Which is crazy because Gonzalez has looked good.
I know. You can't cover everybody though, I guess.
No, and they busted that coverage on what was it? Yeah. That was what I read. They fucked the coverage up, and that's why DK broke away and got that.
I mean, we saw it live. You could see them miscommunicate. It was Kyle Duggar and Christian Gonzalez both like looked at each other and they're like, "Fuck," and DK Metcalf was gone. So that's just how it's been, you know.
It's just not a guy you can let do that.
No, absolutely not. He's right up there at the top of the list. Yeah, I mean, so this team, I'll just read it off again. Pat Mahomes, Travis Etienne, James Conner, Drake London, George Pickens, Travis Kelce, Xavier Worthy at flex, Jason Sanders kicker, and then I don't remember who my defense was. Baltimore. Yeah. So this came down to massive busts from Kelce and Pickens. George Pickens could have easily had a 15, 20-point week. Same with Travis Kelce, because he's done it before. Pickens had 2 crucial calls. Had like a 50-yard touchdown get called back, and had another huge reception. I think like 35 yards get called back on holding penalties. He was looking pretty good with Justin Fields. That was surprising to me. But man, just did not show up. Other than that, I mean, Travis Kelce, like I said, it just is non-existent. That's a tight end you would hope 15, 20 points a game. Right? That's just what the standard has been. So that's let me down tremendously. I picked him, I think, 2nd round, just because he fell so far.
205, 101 last year.
Yeah. And last year kind of worked out okay. This is a keeper league, so it's all over the place. But yeah, I think it came down to Marvin Harrison, breakaway touchdowns. It came down to fucking Brandon Aubrey with 17 points.
Mm-hmm.
Crazy. Did not help anything. Kicker won on the week. There, that was half of the points that my entire team scored was between Brandon Aubrey and Marvin Harrison. So I didn't have a chance, and then Alvin Kamara going for 44 doesn't help it either. So, what was it? What did I finish with? 89 points?
89 points from London Bridge.
Not breaking 100 is brutal. I don't love this lineup. I've since made some moves. I won't waste a ton of airtime on it, but I ended up moving Pickens for Michael Pittman and Christian Kirk, 2, I think, really good buy low candidates right now. And it's got to get better. That's my hope. Michael Pittman's got the targets. I think Christian Kirk will turn it around to some degree, with Evan Ingram out especially. So we'll see. I'm optimistic for the future. I picked up Demarcus Robinson off waivers too. So, yeah, I think my team will get better.
Yeah. I again, yeah, I like the buy low on Pittman. I think there's no way that he doesn't have some great games this year and they start throwing the ball
It's
his
just
way.
so huge. I think the upside is higher than it is with George Pickens, with Justin Fields throwing the ball. That's for sure.
I would agree. Yeah, tough loss that week, but you are now going against none other than Jake Lurs in week 3 here, who already has a point from Hunter Henry because we're shooting this during the Thursday Night Football matchup. But yeah, you guys are dude versus dude yet again. We're getting all these matchups out of the way early in the season.
Yeah, we are.
Then we're gonna play all the rejects and the scrubs in our leagues, like Jeff and
This is frightening to
Allie
look
and
at,
Gabby and
Jake Lurs. Sam Darnold, Chuba Hubbard starting.
Hey man,
Jerome Ford, Chuba Hubbard, Sam
look,
Darnold.
you got to do what you got to do.
You got to do. You got to do absolutely. I don't want to talk too much shit. Sam Darnold's actually looking really good.
Sam Darnold's QB 10 on the season so far.
Yeah, he's looking great.
Better than Patrick
Pat
Mahomes.
Mahomes is QB 12.
And he played the 49ers and the Giants, both of whom are like nothing defenses. Those are serious defenses.
Yeah.
So I mean, my matchup against Tyler this week, not feeling amazing about it. Hunter Henry already having a catch is nice for 0 yards.
Yeah, probably a screen pass.
Sounds about right. Yeah. I've noticed a lot of like bubble screens just around the league.
Yeah.
I feel like it's like a bubble screen season, especially the Ravens.
Yeah. I mean, it's not good all around. I am starting Shaheed, so I really hope it's not the week we find out that it's boom or bust.
Come back to earth week.
I mean, yeah, I really hope not. And I had to start Chuba because I lost Pacheco, and that's unfortunately the reality of where I'm at running back. But Chuba is still the guy there, at least.
It's true.
He's getting 50% of snaps,
and I think we're going to see more. I think it'll only be better with Andy Dalton. Andy Dalton's going to check it down, be more efficient. They're going to need to the offense can't get worse with Andy Dalton.
It could.
I mean, he threw for 84 yards and an interception, Tyler.
I get it.
In a whole game of football.
I get it.
How can it get worse?
I don't think it gets worse. I think realistically,
he can't
Andy
score
Dalton,
points for the other team, and if he throws pick sixes, it's better for fantasy. So
sure,
not for Chuba Hubbard,
not for Chuba Hubbard. No, not for Chuba Hubbard, but it keeps the offense on the field. I don't know. Trying to find a silver lining to Pacheco being out 6 weeks and having to start
at least.
Darnold,
I mean, the man broke
Hubbard.
his fucking fibula. I think it's going to be longer than 6 weeks.
I'm cautiously optimistic about my team this week. I think this is my chance to finally get a win. I do not want to be 0-3. I think Pat Mahomes and Travis Kelce, Sunday Night Football, prime time, under the lights against Atlanta, are going to obliterate them because the Chiefs play good in prime time. They don't want to look like a bunch of idiots.
Yeah.
I think Michael Pittman start, again, cautiously optimistic. He's been getting targets. I'm feeling better about that. I don't know who I'm flexing, in all honesty. I have Khalil Shakir in there right now, a guy that I believe in that I picked up off waivers. I also have Demarcus Robinson. I think both of those, Christian Kirk, Xavier Worthy, my entire team is just flex candidate wide receivers right now. It's Wan'Dale Robinson, Christian Kirk, Xavier Worthy, Khalil Shakir. It's kind of scary. Zamir White is an option to flex. I don't feel confident in that over wide receiver just yet. They are playing Carolina.
Even his face is like, I don't know if
he's
I feel confident starting me, man.
I don't know,
probably
dude.
not. Probably not.
Yeah, I think I need a bit of a prove it game for him to be started. But yeah, I think my team could turn it around. I love my running backs. I love Travis Etienne. I love James Conner. Both huge upside. Travis Etienne, reception hog, hopefully continues to kind of keep his ceiling, or I guess his floor up. I say target hog. As far as running backs in the league go, he is pretty heavily involved in the passing game most of the time.
Yeah, I mean, at least consistent last year. I think Trevor Lawrence is just off to a rough start. I think they'll pick it up.
I think so too. So
yeah,
we'll see.
But they look pretty bad right now.
Yeah, it's not looking great. He was my first round pick this year in this league, so I need him to show up and be healthy and carry me to victory, hopefully.
All right, we will see how that turns out for you dudes. Me though, I am playing the guy who just beat Jake, Chris H, friend of the show, big friend of the show. And I'm worried. He's got a very, very solid team. You know, Barkley's been looking incredible. Montgomery, he's no scrub either. 16, 17, very consistent in a timeshare in Detroit. Mike Evans hasn't looked amazing, but I mean, he's still Mike Evans. He could show up and any given week and put up 30 points. I'm not, I'm a little bit worried about that.
It. Yep.
Amari Cooper, Trey McBride. I mean, Trey McBride finally had a great week, 18 points last week, 6 targets, didn't even get a touchdown, still put up 18 as a tight end. So yeah, I mean, he's got a very solid lineup. Is he missing somebody? Because he has Jennings in it, flex. So who
John
got
Jennings? Ken Walker is hurt.
Ken Walker got hurt.
Also, Josh Palmer, he picked pretty high. Has not looked great this year. That's somebody I had in Dynasty. I was pretty high on. That just the Chargers offense in general is struggling, except for somehow J.K. Dobbins is the bright spot there. I mean
dude, Jim Harbaugh, man.
I've been wrong before. Whatever. Yeah, but J.K. Dobbins, I might be trying to buy him somewhere. Not sure where yet.
Yeah, he's been looking good. I'm relatively confident with this team. Like I said, I think Garrett Wilson has a good night. He's got 1 reception for 6 yards right now. Marvin Harrison, Sam Laporta. I mean, I need Sam Laporta to pick it up. He's playing the Cardinals defense, so I hope to God he can. And I need Najee Harris to get in the end zone at some point here. That'd be nice. And a great week from Anthony Richardson. I'm not sure because that Chicago defensive line looked disgusting last week against Houston. Both of those defensive lines were, bloodthirsty animals.
The Chicago Bears defense, what they did last year in free agency, was just nuts. I can't list it all off the top of my head, but I mean their starting defense is gross.
Yeah, the intensity that those guys were playing at was just crazy. I think the Houston Texas defense looked a little bit better, but I mean, they were really going after Caleb Williams. I think my team has the capability of just really going off on any given week. I still got to see it from some of these guys, but I think it should be a good matchup. I wouldn't be surprised if I lose, and I wouldn't be surprised if I win. So, that is it for talking matchups. But we do have one more segment here, that being none other than Survival Football.
Survival Football.
Yeah, hasn't looked good for us, you guys.
I was doing all right through week 1. I was feeling confident, but turns out
I was doing all right the one time before this.
Turns out you can be wrong.
Yeah. I think it's been a tough year for really anybody so far with Survival Football. We actually are in an actual Survival Football league, and Jake and I both put the Bengals week 1, eliminated. Tyler made it to week 2. Initially, he picked the 49ers here, but in the actual league, he switched his pick to the Colts, which, knowing what I am, I'm very shocked that he took the team that I chose in week 2.
To be totally honest, I forgot that you picked the Colts. I was just in panic mode looking at the 49ers and the injuries, and I'm like reevaluating. I'm like, what the fuck? It felt like a little bit of a trap. Turns out I was right. But also, the other pick was kind of a trap too. So
yeah, it's tough times to be playing Survival Football. We're all losers. Me and Jake have lost the first 2 weeks in a row, which I don't usually see that from Jake.
I don't know. I'm asked at this week, I guess. For this year,
let's try to turn it around, though, boys. Let's try to turn it around. Survival Football week 3. I don't have the matchups up. I can go ahead and do that in one moment. Matchups week 3.
I've got 2. I'm looking at
who
here.
I want to lose.
You cannot pick any. You can't pick the Patriots or the Jets. I'm sorry, that game has already started.
Yes,
not going to allow that, unfortunately.
Historically, what have I picked? I picked the Bucks week 1, and then last week 49ers.
I'll give you the Colts because that's who you ended up picking.
Okay, well,
There's 2 Monday Night Football games.
There is. Yep.
7:30 and 8:15, baby. I've got all my cards on the table in League of Record with these guys. I hate it with every ounce of my being, but I've got Kansas City over Atlanta. Sunday Night Football.
Pick.
It's not a chalk. It is a chalk pick, but I need it. I need it so tremendously bad. I need the Chiefs to get right. I know they're 2-0, but they've like squeaked out some wins that they shouldn't have had. And
I don't know. You see Kirk O'Chains. You don't think Kirk O'Chains can do it?
I think Chris Jones might actually kill Kirk Cousins on the field.
I hate Chris Jones, man, but he's really.
I do too, but oh my god, that Atlanta offensive line has no fucking chance, dude. Chris Jones is gonna have like 3 sacks, at least.
Yeah, Jake, what about you, man? Who do you got?
49ers.
49ers against the Rams without Cooper Kupp or Puka Nacua.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, in theory, that sounds like a pretty solid.
And
choice,
maybe without.
Why are you putting the Rams
Christian
down?
McCaffrey and Debo and George Kittle.
Yeah, you're actually right about that.
It could be Brock Purdy with Juwan Jennings and Jordan Mason.
Brock Purdy's a dog.
I do a pick'em league which involves spreads, and I pick the Rams against the spread. I think they at least cover the spread this week. Yeah, I don't know.
I think the 49ers figure out a way to do it.
I think they could win. I don't think that. I think the spread is like 6.5. I think the Rams can cover that.
Yeah, I think so.
But yeah, for survival football, there's always the Grim Reaper, which is technically me and Jake, but I'm going to play it for myself. Okay.
Such a good drop.
It's beautiful.
Oh man, let's come on. Let's get back in the win column here. Geez, who do I think can pull out a W this week? You know what? I'm gonna ride the train of who can beat the Panthers. I think that's everybody. So I'm gonna go ahead and pick the Raiders this week in survival football. The Raiders, Gardner Minshew, Devontae Adams gonna go off again. Maybe Zamir White has a get right game. Who knows? But one thing I do know is the Carolina Panthers are not winning. So that's
for sure.
That's Talk about thoughts. Other games where the quarterback might actually die. I think Max Crosby could actually kill Andy Dalton too.
Lazard touchdown? Are you fucking kidding me?
Eat shit, morons. When I said earlier, Lazard.
You did say Lazard could be a Lazard game.
Is that true? No way. Did he really score? Fuck
Remember when you guys were talking shit about me picking up Alan Lazard like early last year before Aaron Rodgers got hurt? You're like, yeah, well, he couldn't do it in Green Bay, so why would he do it in New York?
Fucking A.
Really Alan Lazard might be startable this year.
You really held on to that grudge.
Because I was salty about it. Alan Lazard's a good athlete.
I hate that. I hate that we have to end the show on an Alan Lazard fucking touchdown. I kill myself.
Good stuff.
But anyways, if you made it this far, thank you so much for watching, listening. If you are listening, check us out on YouTube, Those Fantasy Dudes Podcast. That way you can see our beautiful faces. You can join us live, typically Tuesday nights around 7:30. You can go ahead and do that. Leave us comments, and we absolutely will be happy to answer them on the show. But thanks again. Thanks so much. Follow us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, at Those Fantasy Dudes, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, Fantasy Dudes Pod on Twitter. But yeah, that's gonna do it, everybody. Good luck in your week 3 matchups, unless you're playing me. But let's go. Football. Patriots, baby. Patriots.
Those fantasy dudes on Instagram.
I forget who I'm playing this week, but I'm gonna kick your ass, whoever it is.
Playing Jake and Troy.
Jake, I'm gonna beat your ass.
I'm gonna beat your ass.